think I have a letter for you. At least I think it's you. You look just like the Meister told me. Well, the Meister also said you'd pay me 10 pennies for the delivery. He didn't have any coin. Whoa, thank you! Malphus bless you and safe travels.
Did you kill her? Princess Goldilocks. Sister Pride, of course. Nessa. Damn it. Why didn't you do it? Oh, really? Then you have an interesting definition of innocence. How do you think Sister Pride earned her living while she was still a voice? By giving out candy to the poor? The chances are 50-50 that the whole thing will leak out. You might have fooled the first seer, but if the father examines the heart, he'll most likely notice that it's fake. You've endangered our mission. I hope you realize that. Anyway, you've given me little reason to regret my decision to hire you until now. Let's hope this was just a one-time slip-up. Did you kill her? Good. That's good. You know, Nessa joined the Rhalata only shortly after me. She was an orphan too. We even shared the same bunk bed for a year or so. And now she's dead. That feels strange. Close. I didn't say we were close. She was a murderer, just like all those lunatic bastards. I would have cut her throat myself without a moment's hesitation had our plan demanded it. Faces? Huh. What should I make of it? I'm not an apothecary. Maybe she hit the dust a little too heavily on her visits to the Silver Cloud. She wouldn't be the first villain with a drug problem. Now, we wait until we hear back from the first seer. If we're unlucky, that's where our plan will end. If the father is not interested in your services, there's nothing we can do. However, there's something else I might need your help with in the meantime. 250 pennies. More than enough. It has to do with my past. With the refuge. Yeah. I told you that Shagun, the matron of the house, knew about the abductions, didn't I? That she sold us? Well, I only learned that recently. I used to think that the Rhalata forced Shagun to give us away. And even now, there's still a part of me that wants to believe it. The reason why I'm going back to the refuge is that I want to know for certain. I want to know how rotten a soul Shagun really was. And who knows, maybe we'll also find more about what the father actually did with us children. More about the experiments. I hope so. It was closed down after the flesh maggot plague killed Shagun, so her documents might still be there. Thing is, ever since the Red Madness, the place has been crawling with lost ones. Exactly. I'd probably be able to do it myself, but now is the wrong time to take unnecessary risks. So, let's meet at the marketplace, right in front of Zorgben and Sons. I'll make some preparations.
Oh shit. I have to remember that.
Ready? Good.
Vata incarnate.
Enemy! Looters. Guess they were hoping to find something of value in the orphanage after the plague broke out. Come, you go on ahead. I'll cover your back. There it is. Huh. Strange feeling to be back here after all those years. We should... Wait. What in blazes is that? What are you doing? Never mind. Sorry. Shagun's office should be on the first floor. Let's take a look around. Nothing's changed. All right, here we are. And would you look at that? Stock lists, spendings, earnings. No, that doesn't help us. She did. If I remember one thing, then it's how obsessed that old cunt was with her lists. Everything needed to be documented. Every crust of bread, every single donation. So, if she really did sell children to the father over all those years, there must be reports. Just not here. Her hidden safes. That's a chance. Everybody down here has hidden safes. Even if the house was under the protection of the Rhalata, there would still be the occasional raids. Even I can remember at least half of a dozen of them. They just came in, made a ruckus, and took whatever they could get their hands on. Eventually, Shagun even let them in voluntarily. No, but I'm pretty sure that they're here in the orphanage. I say we split up. You check the kitchen, the cellar, and the storage room in the backyard. I'll take care of the rest. Hidden switches, false bottoms, the usual. You'll manage. So will I. Good luck. Just use your brain. Where would you hide important documents in a place like this?
Snip, snip, cut through the throat. The head rolls off, the soul's afloat. Snip, 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 cut through the throat. The head rolls off, the soul's afloat.
Thariel? Yes, Thariel. Back then he still existed. Now he's gone. Now there's only Brother Raph. He killed them all, you know. Lethal, Wilma, have all of them gone or dead. We couldn't enter the cold flesh. We screamed. We screamed as loud as we could because it hurt so bad. But then that would have made him angry because then he couldn't concentrate anymore. But what else should we have done? It just hurt so bad. No matter how much of the blue juice he gave us, it always hurt so bad. Father. Yes, our father. We never saw his face, you know. She always wore this mask, this terrible, scary mask. Yes, he wanted to make us happy. That's what she always said. That she wanted to make us happy. At first I believed him, but then they took Letho. Letho, they just came in and took him into the room. I heard him scream. Hours and hours, and then suddenly silence. Silence for eternity. But I shouldn't talk so much. Too much talking makes the father angry. Just let me sleep, will you? Just sleep. What are you doing here? What happened? Remember? What should I remember? I was dizzy, so I took a nap. Must have been the hunger. I didn't have a meal in 2 days. Seizure? What do you mean? What? But why? What did I say? I see. It must have been this place. It brought back my memories. What do you want to hear? I have no idea what that was. Same as you. No, I don't. But it doesn't matter. We should focus on the task at hand. What about the safe? Did you find anything? Look, I just don't want to talk about it right now. Is that so hard to understand? Now tell me, what about the safe? The documents? Let me see. Can you believe it? That's a list of all the children who were sold. Name, age, price. She sold us like cattle. I don't know whether to cry or laugh. But it doesn't say anything about what the father did to us. Did you find anything else? Shit. Well, what did I expect? It was worth a try. Do you want to know something? Shagun... I didn't think she actually did it. When I first heard of her involvement in the matter, I always thought she was living proof that not everybody can be corrupted if you shove enough money up their ass. Seems I was wrong. Yeah, of course. Did I? Tell me, what is it to you? Why do you care? As if talking ever helps, but fine. You gave me little reason to distrust you, so why the fuck not? If we're unlucky, neither of us will be alive anymore 2 days from now. Come, let's find somewhere to sit. Sit. All right. Let's keep this brief. My family discarded me as a child, and no, I don't blame them. I was weak, frail, and always ill. It was unlikely that I would see 5 winters. Nonsense. Keeping me would have burdened the entire family. What they did wasn't cruel. It was necessary. Cruelty is something else. Cruelty is inflicting suffering when it's avoidable, or simply for pleasure. Sadist scum like Carlian, lust murderers or mad cult leaders who stop at nothing to get their way. Not even the corpses of children. I don't know. I've forgotten most of it. I am, thanks to Letho. It must have been 6 winters back then, whereas I was 4 or 5. I don't remember. He found me in the gutter and took me in. I'm not sure you realize what that means. Surviving alone is hard enough as it is for an urchin child. But taking care of someone else, it decreases your chances even more. Letho didn't care. He saw me, he let me sleep in a pile of hay he called his bed, and shared his bread with me. I still have no idea why he did it. In the sewers. It's full of robbers and thieves and other scum nowadays, but back then, there were lots of secret corners and tunnels for a child to hide in. The good old days. I don't know. They never wanted to talk about it. Not even later, in the orphanage. It did, but there were a limited number of beds. New beds only became available if an orphan reached the age of 12 and was sent back onto the streets. Or, of course, if one died. What they had was a list. You could have them put your name on there, and every time a new bed became free, the orphans would be called into the alley, and the list was read out aloud from top to bottom. Strange feeling, as you could imagine. When Letho was 8, and I was about 7, we both got lucky and got a bed. We spent 5 years there, and 1 moon before the abduction by the Rhalata, shortly before his 12th birthday, I swore to him that I'd come with him once they put him back on the streets. I don't know if you can understand this, but the thought that he'd be out there while I slept in my bunk bed, I just couldn't accept it. What do you think? He called me an idiot, and rightly so, because I was still the frail little kid I had been when my parents abandoned me, and that ugly cough that I had would still come back every time winter returned. Still, had push come to shove, I would have followed him. Nothing and no one could have stopped me. Peaceful. It sounds strange to say it after all that's happened, but if I'm being honest, the years in the refuge were the only truly peaceful time in my life. Of course, it wasn't a picnic. Food was scarce because the orphanage stayed afloat only through donations, and we had to work a lot. You know, clean, cook, tend to the garden. But still, we had a home. Or at least we thought we did. Back then, I didn't. But in retrospect, I should have. For example, there were those twin sisters. One morning we woke up and they were gone. Shagun wouldn't say a word about it, but we thought it was because they'd died and she was in mourning. Now I know better. Yes, me and Letho. I still remember that day as though it was yesterday. It had been an exhausting day and my cough had come back. Shagun put out the candles and we fell asleep. Then, all of a sudden, they were there, right in front of our beds. We screamed. We struggled. Tried to flee, but it didn't matter. Uncle Nalek was there to help the masked men to calm us. Shagun and the other adults, they just stood by and watched. Can you imagine? They just stood there and fucking watched. You know the rest of the story. They put sacks over our faces and threw us into a carriage, like cattle on their way to the slaughterhouse. Then, darkness. The next clear memory I have is awaking on a pile of bodies in the corpse pit. No. Of course I looked through that corpse pile as well as I could, but there was no one there. No one. It was real, you know? Letho and I were there for each other through it all, and he was my best friend, my brother, my family. Damn it, he was the only one I ever had. And now he's dead. His skeleton's probably rotting somewhere in the sewers, if the father's experiments left any of his body at all. I don't know if you can even remotely understand how much I hate this person. He is evil incarnate. It's that simple. What do you think I am? An idiot? Of course I looked for him. For weeks, months, fucking years. But nobody had seen him or even knew who I was talking about. For them, he was just another dead orphan in the caves. Backup. I don't believe in backup anymore. Just look around, will you? This thing we call our world. What is it if you take away the glitter? A ring? A fucking arena? They all just care about their own ends, and they are willing to do anything to see them through. Lie, steal, murder. And now? Now they're talking about the red madness, as if things hadn't always been the way they are now. Friendship is a privilege for the young and foolish. Letho always believed in the good in people. And look where it got him. It doesn't? Then fate has a bad sense of humor. Yeah, you'd know. What is it to you? What? And this seems like the right time and place for you to make advances. Damn it, have some fucking dignity. Can it? If you ask me, there's nothing more superficial than love. Well, okay, let me ask you this. Imagine a man with terrible burn scars on his face. What do you think? Would it be that man the women dream of when the bards sing of a knight in shining armor coming to their rescue? Bullshit. The love you're talking about. It's a simple equation. If you're attractive, rich, or powerful, you might get to enjoy it. If not, have fun. That's one of the few teachings of the Rhalâta I actually agree with. Yes, because you're a decent enough canvas for women's and men's stupid fantasies. Go ahead. Put your head over an open fire for a while and see how much real love you're getting after that. That was by far the most stupid thing you've said tonight. Yes, I've put a lot of thought into these things. That doesn't mean I don't stand by my opinion. Quite the contrary. Like a brother. That's different. No, just one of the most banal feelings we're capable of. Broke me. Trust me, I'm quite intact. If anything, it opened my eyes. You know, being on my own, as you put it, it doesn't bother me. Not at all. I know how it must sound to you, but if you're alone, you're invincible. The worst anybody can do to you is kill you. And since death is the end of all feeling, it doesn't matter anymore. Friends, family, love, they leave you open, exposed. For me, things are simple. If the father kills me, I have failed. But at least there'll be no one to mourn my loss. No widow, no children, no friends. A clean cut, as though I never existed. I'll see when we get there. there is no other person like Letho. And even if there were, I'd keep my distance. The time for these kinds of things has gone. Either way, we've wasted enough time. As I said, it might be hours before the father decides, or if we're unlucky, weeks or months. I'll send out a messenger if I learn something, and should anything unusual happen, just meet me at my hideout. I'll be there for an hour every day before nightfall. Until then, do that.